Boys and girls, welcome back to our reading lesson. Our reading target today is I can evaluate details to determine what is most important with adult assistance. So we're going to go over this again just today to kind of review important and interesting details in a text. Next week, we're going to start something new, and we're going to start reading persuasive text, which we know when the author tries to persuade us to do something. So it's very important that when we read these texts next week that we're able to determine if it's an interesting detail or if it's important and something we really need to know. Like, what are they trying to get us to do? Today we're just going to focus on determining if that's an interesting detail, maybe just a fun fact or something cool, or if it's important, we really need to know that it's a major fact. And it's going to help me answer some questions about what I'm wondering. We've studied this standard before. We've worked on it before. So today's kind of like a review day. I'm going to read a text, and we are going to look at this chart on the screen that says, this is what I need to know. And we're going to come up with some facts together, what we think we need to know in this text. And then we're going to add some to the side that says, this is just extra information, maybe just a cool or interesting fact. Okay, and then we're going to determine what does the author really want us to know about this text, and that's going to help us also determine, is it important or is it just interesting? Okay, so we're going to start off our lesson with a book on Raz Kids. I'm going to pull it up on my screen now, and we're going to read it together. Okay, so this book is called Goats Are Great. So far, by looking at the title, I know that this author must be wanting to tell me all about what? About goats, right? And they might give us all these cool facts or maybe just interesting things about goats. Let's read to find out. I'm going to read it actually the first time, then the second time around, we're going to go and see, is this just interesting or is it something, yes, we really need to know, okay? Goats are great. What's so great about goats? Goats give us food. They help us and play with us. Goats make great pets. Okay, I can already tell so far what's important information. Like, yes, that's something we need to know, and something that's a cool fact or something cool, but I don't know if I really need to know that about goats. Be thinking about what's important or interesting as well. Goats provide food for us. Many people drink goat milk. Goat milk makes goat cheese. Some people eat goat meat. Goats help us in many ways. Goats are happy to eat weeds in people's yards. We can make wool cloth out of soft goat hair. Goats make great pets and are fun to play with. Goats learn to come when you call their name. Goats are easy to take care of. Goats like to be outdoors. They enjoy sunny days. Goats spend most of their day playing and eating. Goats are great to look at. Many have long, floppy ears. Goats have only lower teeth. All goats have 2 hard toes on each foot. Both boy and girl goats can have long beards. Some baby goats are born with tiny horns. Goat hair is very soft to touch. Goats eat healthy foods. Goats like to eat long grass. They like flowers and apples. Goats eat anything yummy. Goats are strong and quick. Goats like to climb and jump. They play king of the mountain. Goats are smart, playful, gentle, and helpful. Goats are fun and friendly. That's why goats are great. Okay, and that's the end of the text. Now, if we are thinking about, I'm going to go back to the beginning. If we were wanting to know all about goats, thinking back to like our research on animals, what were some of the main important things that we really needed to know to learn more about the animal? Do you remember when we did that research and graphic organizer? What are some really important things that we had to learn about our animal? Yes, their habitat, what they eat, maybe their body type, what they look like. What else? their life cycle. Yes, all of those tell us all about goats. Now, if we really wanted to learn about goats, do you think those would be the important facts? I think so too. So going back to this text, we're going to figure out what's important about goats or what's just cool or interesting. Can you think of any so far? Good. So let's go through the text again. And this time we're just going to quickly go through it and we're going to decide, is this important? Do I really need to know? Is this going to help me learn more about goats? Or this is just a cool fun fact. Let's begin to find our facts. What's so great about goats? Goats give us food. Okay, so thinking back to how they help us, them giving us food might be helpful to us. They help us and play with us. Goats make great pets. So out of that paragraph there, what do you think is helpful to us? That they play with us and make great pets? No, that's not, to me, that's more of an interesting or cool fact. But I think what is helpful is that they give us food. That's beneficial to us and that helps us, doesn't it? So that's an important fact for us. So I think something interesting would be that they make great pets. That might be an opinion. Not everybody might think that. And that they play with us might be another interesting or cool fact. People might find that as an interesting or cool fact. But the most important thing here is that I think that they give us food. What do you think? Right. I'm going to go ahead and write that down so I don't forget. So important and interesting. They give us food. And interesting is they play with us. We'll put that. Let's go to the next page. Goats provide food for us. And that kind of goes with what we said on the previous page. They give us food. So that's kind of the same, isn't it? Many people drink goat milk. Goat milk makes goat cheese. Some people eat goat meat. Okay, anything here that's important for us to know? Okay, many people drink goat milk. I think that's kind of like an interesting fact because not all of us could think that's important. That's kind of just an interesting fact because I don't think everybody does that. Goat milk makes goat cheese. Do you think that's an important fact? That could be because that kind of goes with some of the things that their body might produce or might do. So I'm going to say that one's an important fact because that's going to help us learn more about things that they can produce. They produce goat milk, which makes goat cheese. That's an important fact. And then it says some people eat goat meat. Do we really need to know that if we're learning all about goats? Not really. I think that's more of a fun fact because like I said, not everybody would think that that's an important fact. That's more of an interesting fact because not really everybody does that. So I'm going to put that on the interesting side. So far the most important things about goats is that they give us food and goat milk makes goat cheese, which could be beneficial to other animals or humans as well. And something interesting is that they play with us and some people can eat goat meat or drink goat milk. Okay, so I'm going to go to one more slide and we're going to decide what's important and what's interesting, okay? Okay, here on this page, I just stopped on this page. It says both boy and girl goats can have long beards. Some baby goats are born with tiny horns. Goat hair is very soft to touch. Okay, so I see in an interesting fact here that I thought was kind of cool that said goat hair is very soft to touch. If we were learning all about goats and we wanted to know what they eat, their habitat, things like that, I wouldn't say that's something that we really need to know that's going to help us learn more about them. But I think that's actually cool that their hair is very soft. What do you think? I think that's an interesting and fun fact. I'm going to put they have soft hair. And then Did you read anything or hear anything important on this page? It says, both boy and girl goats can have long beards. Some baby goats are born with tiny horns. Any important facts that you think we should know for studying them? I think it's important to know that as well, that they have horns on their head because that might be part of their defenses, like we talked about when we were doing our research. So maybe the author wants to tell us, how they protect themselves. So the, whenever they tell us that goats have tiny horns, that baby goats have tiny horns, that kind of helps me understand, oh, so that's how they protect themselves. It's not really, that really is something we need to know. I wouldn't say that's interesting, that is kind of cool, but it's also important because that's very important when we're talking about how they protect themselves, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that chart and I'm gonna type in some things to know all about goats. This is what I need to know. They give us food. I'm just going to put a few that we came up with. Goat milk makes goat cheese, and baby goats have tiny horns. Those are important facts, and this was extra information. They play with us. People eat goat meat, and they have soft fur. So the difference between the two was that the interesting facts were something neat to read about. It was fun. It was somebody's opinion. They might say they're great pets, but not everybody thinks that. The important facts are what we needed to know for the topic. We need to know what they eat. We need to know their defenses. Those are major facts, and we need to know that to understand more about goats. So we didn't list all the important or interesting facts, but we did list a lot of the ones that stuck out to me, okay? So next week when we work on persuasive text, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reading some persuasive text and deciding what does the author really want us to know? What is important in this that they're trying to persuade us to do, okay? So great job today. I want you to go ahead and get on Seesaw now and answer some questions about what we learned about, and I will see you next time. Bye.